Welcome back to Coffee with Mia. Grab your coffee or your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's hang out for a little while. Today, I want to talk about something that just sounds incredibly simple. And honestly, maybe it's too simple. I came across an article from Mark and Angel Hack Life, and it was titled 3 Little Things You Should Do Every Day Before Noon. And of course, when I saw the title, I had to click on it. Because for me, 3 things before noon, I can handle that. But I have to tell you, as I was reading it, I realized there were much bigger things underneath these 3 little things. This isn't about having the perfect morning routine. It was about waking up 5 a.m. in the morning, journaling for an hour, drinking green juice, meditating for an hour, exercising, and reading 3 chapters of a book, and somehow becoming a completely different person before breakfast. I mean, seriously, some mornings I know I'm doing well when I remember how many scoops of coffee I put in the coffee maker. This was about totally something else. It was about keeping promises to yourself. And you know what? I think we underestimate how important that is. Think about how most of us start the day. Sometimes our eyes aren't even completely open and we're already reaching for the phone. And as we're doing that, we're asking ourselves, what's happening? Who texted me? Or what's going on in the world? What did I miss? What do I have to do today? And suddenly the day has us before we even decided what we want from the day. And that's what got me thinking. What if before the world starts asking things from us, we did a few little things for ourselves? Nothing dramatic, nothing complicated. Just 3 little actions that say, I'm here. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my life. The first thing we should do is finish one little thing. And the first thing in this article is incredibly ordinary. Wash your breakfast dishes. And that's it. Now, I know someone who's listening is saying to themselves right now, Mia, seriously, I turned on your podcast to hear you tell me wash the breakfast dishes. Okay, just stay with me. I don't think this is about breakfast dishes. I think it's about finishing something. I mean, let's face it. There's something completely satisfying about finishing a task. You made your coffee, you drank it, you washed your cup, and you put it away. And done. No mental note to say, well, I'll get to this later. So no little job is waiting for you later. Think about it. How many little things do we leave unfinished during a normal day? I don't know about you, but here's what goes on in my brain. I'll answer that email later. I'll make that appointment later. I'll organize that later. And I'll exercise later. Now, individually, none of those things seem important at the time. But put them all together and they start taking up space in your head. Maybe your first little thing isn't washing a dish. Maybe it's making the bed. Maybe it's putting those clothes that are sitting on the chair away. Maybe it's throwing out a stack of junk mail. Whatever it is, finish that one small thing. Because when you complete something, it motivates you to do more. And sometimes to get yourself moving, isn't tackling the biggest thing in your life. It's actually finishing the smallest thing. The second thing is exercising. Now, before anyone decides to shut me off, I'm not telling you that you have to run 5 miles before noon. I'm not doing that either. You don't have to become an athlete overnight. It's about movement. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Go take a walk outside or go on the treadmill. Dance around your kitchen while you're making breakfast. Whatever works for you. And what I think is most important about this one, when we move our bodies, our future selves will thank us. Because I know not everything feels wonderful while we're doing it. Sometimes we'd want to just stay on the couch or scroll through social media, or our favorite go-to, I'll do it tomorrow. If you think about it, tomorrow gets assigned a lot of work. I mean, seriously, doesn't it? Tomorrow I'm exercising. Tomorrow I'm eating better. Tomorrow I'm organizing everything. I mean, I feel bad for tomorrow. It's actually exhausted today. So stop giving everything to tomorrow. What you can do today. And do it today, just because you told yourself you would. We talk all the time about trusting other people. We ask ourselves questions like, can I trust this person? Will they keep their word? Will they do what they say they're going to do? But there's a question that we don't ask nearly enough. Do you trust yourself? When you tell yourself you're going to do something, do you believe you? Think about that. Because every time you make yourself a promise and keep it, you're building evidence. You're saying, I show up for myself. And every time you do, the relationship you have with yourself gets a little stronger. And that's why these tiny things aren't really tiny. The third suggestion in the article is meditation. I know meditation isn't everyone's thing, so I'm going to broaden this one. Get quiet. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. No television, no podcast. And yes, I realize I'm telling you to turn off the podcast. But don't turn it off yet. I'm almost finished. Getting quiet also means no scrolling, no checking messages, no worrying about what everyone else is doing. Just you. Maybe you just sit with your coffee. Maybe you pray. Maybe you write in your journal. I think we forget how important that quiet time with ourselves is. Sometimes the only voice we need to hear is our own. And I want to make this clear. I'm not telling you that if there's a coffee mug in your sink at 12:01, your whole life is going to fall apart. Because honestly, my coffee cup may be in the sink at the same time. This isn't at all about perfection. It's about intention. There's a big difference. Perfection says, I have to do everything right. Intention says, I'm going to do something good for myself today. Perfection tells you that if you missed doing something, you failed. And that's not true. Because if you have intention, it tells you to just begin again. And I think that's something we all need to remember. You don't have to wait until tomorrow morning to begin again. You don't even have to wait until Monday to begin again. You don't have to wait until the first of the month. You don't have to wait until January. And you definitely don't have to wait until life settles down, because can someone please tell me, when does life settle down? There are no rules. You can start again whenever you want. Okay, so here's what I want you to try. Before noon today, or tomorrow if you're listening to this late, choose 3 small promises to keep to yourself. Not 10, not 20. We're not trying to create a total life makeover before lunch. Just 3 things. Maybe they can be, I'm going to make my bed, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes, or I'm going to sit quietly with my coffee. Quiet with myself for 5 minutes. Everyone's 3 things are going to be different. Everyone's routine is going to be different. Just stop and ask yourself, what actually works for me? I think we sometimes dismiss the small actions because we can't immediately see the results. Change happens quietly, one decision at a time, until one day you notice you're different. You're now someone who follows through with what they say. And that is much bigger than a clean coffee cup. I want to leave you with a question. Actually, 3 questions. What is one little thing you can finish? What is one thing you can do for your body? And when can you give yourself 5 quiet minutes today? That's it. Don't make it complicated, because sometimes we make changing ourselves so enormous that we're afraid to begin. And it doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes it can be a clean coffee cup, going on the treadmill, or being quiet for 5 minutes. And one promise that you made to yourself and you actually kept. Are they small things? Absolutely. But those small things become habits. And habits become who we are. And who we are has a funny way of becoming the life we live. So before noon today, keep a few promises to yourself. You deserve to know that when you say you're going to show up for yourself, you will. I'm Mia Pompey, and this has been Coffee with Mia. Always remember, life is not a dress rehearsal. What are you waiting for?